You think running halfway across the world to the city of lights, Las Vegas, means you can shake off the demons? You are wrong. Once the curse of thunder parasites your soul, it stalks you like a pitch-black shadow. Danny thought he was free when he buried the ceramic jar 10 feet deep in the barren desert wasteland, until the next morning, when muddy water tracks stretched from his windowsill straight into his closet. But the only thing more terrifying than a horde of starving ghosts is when your best friends smell the money. When greed awakens, friendship turns to betrayal, and a luxurious penthouse on the 40th floor instantly becomes a spiritual slaughterhouse. The night of terror in Vegas has officially begun. Danny returned to Las Vegas, the neon capital of America. But in stark contrast to the glitz and glamour of the Strip, Danny's mind was a dark prison. He discovered a rule. As long as he stayed away from card games and places drenched in money, his eyes remained temporarily normal. The hand of thunder seemed to sleep when untouched by greed. To protect his life, Danny hid the black ceramic jar deep in the corner of his closet, locked under 3 separate padlocks. He frantically searched occult forums, Reddit no sleep, the dark web, for crush-eye flaring. But it all came up to zero. One night, the pressure was too much. It was driving him insane. He threw the jar into his trunk and drove straight into the remote Nevada desert. Danny dug a hole 10 feet deep, tossed the jar inside, covered it with dirt, and packed it down tight. Looking up at the night sky, he let out a massive laugh, thinking he was finally free. But the next morning, when he opened his closet to grab his jacket for school, Danny froze. The black ceramic jar sat right there, proudly resting in the corner. On the carpet, a trail of muddy water stretched from the windowsill, straight into the closet. The lid faintly carried the scent of wild, damp earth. It crawled back by itself. Danny collapsed onto the floor, weeping in utter despair. It had parasitized his soul. Chloe, Danny's materialistic, TikTok-obsessed girlfriend, came over and accidentally found the jar while looking for a hoodie to borrow. Seeing Danny panic as he ripped it back, she demanded answers. When Danny confessed the entire truth about the Poipet Casino, Chloe burst into hysterical laughter. Danny, have you been playing too many video games? Or watching too many A24 horror movies? Ghosts? Seriously? Furious, Danny decided to prove it. He pulled out the jar, placed his hand onto the dry, dead skin of the corpse's fingers, and chanted the short Khmer incantation. Instantly, his eyes turned a cloudy, solid gray, stripping away the whites. He told Chloe to shuffle a brand new factory-sealed deck of cards. Without looking, Danny called out every single card, flawlessly. But he didn't stop there. He pointed a finger right behind Chloe, his voice dead cold. And there is a grayish-purple newborn baby with no eyes, gnawing on your left shoulder. That's why you've been complaining about a stiff neck all week, isn't it? Chloe shrieked, her face turning utterly bloodless as a blast of ice-cold air touched the back of her neck. But the fear of a girl raised in Las Vegas was quickly replaced by something much more monstrous: insatiable greed. Danny, do you realize we're in Vegas? This is a gold mine. We can get out of the slums, buy a mansion, drive supercars. Danny firmly refused. No, it's draining my life force. My master shriveled up and died because of it. Seeing she couldn't convince her boyfriend, Chloe secretly plotted with Mason, Danny's best friend, a guy drowning in underworld sports betting debts. Mason lied to Danny, claiming his mother had terminal cancer and needed emergency surgery cash, begging Danny to meet at a small underground casino on the edge of town to talk about how to help. Kind-hearted Danny walked straight into the trap. The moment he stepped into the private casino, thick with the stench of marijuana smoke and thumping music, Danny knew he'd been played. The clicking of poker chips and the raw greed of hundreds of people around him instantly triggered the Hand of Thunder. Miles away in his closet, a massive surge of deathly aura slammed straight into Danny's eyes. Before him, the casino transformed into a living hell. Behind Mason and Chloe, two starving ghosts, bone thin with necks stretching like snakes, were greedily licking their necks, dripping jet-black drool onto their shoulders. Mason shoved Danny toward a blackjack table, his eyes bloodshot as he roared. "Just one game, Danny. Save my family's life." Driven by the ghostly whispers echoing inside his brain, Danny was hypnotized. He started betting